All right, today what we're going to do is we're going to troubleshoot the primary clutch on the Can-Am. It covers 21 Newer Commanders, I think all the Trail Sports 1000Rs and 17 through 21 X3s. The clutch is mostly the movable sheave. Looks a little bit different some of the models. Operation's the same as I mentioned in the intro. If I didn't mention it, I forgot already, but nonetheless, if you want to know how to get it apart, go watch the Dalton Clutch Kit install video that we'll put a link up here at the end to see the tools and how to get it apart and get it to this point. Okay, so once you get to this point, now it's time to start doing some inspecting. Also, on this primary clutch deal, when I'm troubleshooting primary clutches, I always ask people to send me a picture of inside the primary clutch. See what the belt's doing, what it's touching and condition inside the primary clutch. Hopefully Hunter put that in while I was talking about it, that picture of it. But that's the look you want to be looking for. You can certainly email it to me and it'll tell you a lot about what's going on and condition of it, okay? So once you got past all that and you decided to pull it off and do a good inspection and do a little maintenance, then this is where we're at, okay? So first thing I like to look at is my governor cup. What condition? I've been calling these rollers forever, slide blocks, they've been named everything, but we're just gonna call them rollers because that's what I've been used to for so many years. But they are, looks like octagon shape or hexagonal shape. Check them out. If they're really, really bad, I wouldn't even, certainly don't want to replace them, in my opinion. I'm not a fan of that. I'd replace the whole governor cup. If you just got some wear on one surface, just rotate it when you go back together. You want to take a good look at your spider buttons. There are 3 that come out that have an O-ring in them. You want to inspect your O-rings and also the buttons on those too, okay? So, and then that's pretty much it. There's not a whole lot that can go wrong besides buttons and the slide blocks or rollers there. Okay, the next part of the clutch is going to be the movable sheave. I see no reason to pull the spring out for this part of it. I mean, you'd have to have your spring compressor, but there's really not anything in there unless you just want to pull it and do a cleaning. Now, that's probably not the worst idea. You'd have to have a spring compressor, take these screws out and get it cleaned out. But other than that, you want to check your fly weights, top of your fly weights. Try to get it up here in this overhead view. You want to check the top of the fly weights, just make sure they're still smooth. How do they move? Do they have any side-to-side movement? A teeny bit is acceptable. You certainly don't want to be moving them hard. Then you're going to want to flip it over. You want to check the surface out here. It's time to clean it, maintenance-wise. A Scotch-Brite pad, brake clean, scrub it up really good, and then take a clean cloth with brake cleaner on it and wipe it down good. Then don't even touch that part with your fingers. You can see my dirty hands from fooling with them. You don't want to touch it. I don't know if the camera can pick it up, but there's all kind of greasy fingerprints on there. So you're gonna be looking at that really close. The next part is your back calf. So be careful. Sometimes these washers, I'll get it off here a second, slide these washers off. These washers will stick to the back side of this sometimes when you're taking it apart and roll off, you know, you forget it. But make sure that you have 2 of these little thin washers. Now, I'm not going to do it on this particular bearing, but you can take some brake clean and you can spray all the old grease nastiness out really good and then air dry it out. Well, I like to use a compressor, blow it out, and we sell, I don't have a tube of it out here, wish I did, I should have for a video. We sell a tube of a very specific needle bearing grease, and you will basically put some on your finger and wipe it around. There's a point that's too much. I can't tell you exactly how much that is. Let your conscience be your guide. And I will also tell you the first time you crank it up, your belt's probably going to drag because that grease literally needs to be broken in. But it is our proprietary grease that we use in our own primary clutch for Polaris. It's outstanding qualities. So be sparing with it, but also good enough. So that's inspection and maintenance on our bearing. If you have a bad bearing, you know, did it eat up the shaft? Does anything in here eat up? Are you missing a washer on the inside? And then if from a belt blowing or something, and did our bearing start acting like a hole saw and just eat into this clutch. So check this part out. Once again, Scotch-Brite pad, brake clean, and clean it all up, wipe it down. And then when you go back, make sure that you have a washer, a bearing, and another washer. There is no one-way bearings in these, so this bearing turns both directions. There is no right or wrong there. So that's pretty much it as far as inspection and a little bit of maintenance on it. It's not a whole lot of maintenance, but these things do get really dirty. If you got it all muddy and or greasy, maybe had a bad seal, you're going to want to take it down. If you got oil all over one, you're certainly going to want to take that spring cup out and get all that cleaned up. Brake clean is what I use. You're going to have every argument on earth. I used to use carb cleaner, but it does leave a residue. Brake cleaner does not seem to, and there is zero lube in a primary clutch other than inside that bearing. So that's pretty much it. Don't forget, best belts on the planet, in my opinion. Can-Am belt's been really great. Also, any parts, kits, tools, that's a big thing here. There's a lot of tools on these Can-Ams. Find your vehicle on the website. It's either 2 or 3 clicks from the home page, Can-Am, then pick your vehicle. It's pretty easy to get there. Like I said, 2 or 3 clicks and you're there and you'll see everything for your particular year model of vehicle. So if you got any questions on this, Todd at Hunterworks.com. Be glad to help you any way I can. Thanks.